Did you know that Puerto Ricans had to take a literacy test in order to vote in New York? New York City officially has a new mayor, a democratic socialist named Zoran Mamdani. Mamdani may be the very first socialist mayor of New York, but he's definitely not the first socialist politician in New York. Neither is AOC. During the Great Depression, Vito Marcantonio, an Italian-American, represented the East Harlem district of New York City and made an impact so significant that Republicans, Democrats, and liberals teamed up to smear his name and have him defeated. Sound familiar? Vito's constituents were the often forgotten working class of East Harlem, predominantly Italian and Jewish, with a growing population of African Americans and Puerto Ricans. While voting literacy tests were mostly associated with the Jim Crow South, New York had its own version of voter suppression, and most Puerto Ricans were not allowed to vote in local and state elections in New York due to an English literacy test that prevented them. The law was originally meant for newly naturalized citizens, a lot of whom were entering through Ellis Island and were viewed as a threat to the white elite who were manipulating American politics. But after Puerto Ricans were made citizens in 1917, a lot more of them began to migrate to the US, and these tests would be tailored more towards preventing them from voting. Vito's affinity for Puerto Ricans in particular moved him to introduce 5 bills advocating for Puerto Rico, including independence and extending unemployment relief and minimum wage to the island. So a lot of those benefits that pro-state Puerto Ricans are so thankful to America for were introduced by a socialist. When Puerto Rican nationalist Dr. Pedro Albizu Campos was imprisoned, Vito went to Puerto Rico to visit him and urged President Roosevelt to pardon him. And although that request was unsuccessful, Vito did file charges against U.S.-appointed Puerto Rico Governor Blanton Winship, who was responsible for the Ponce Massacre in 1937, and ultimately got him fired. Vito fought for fair employment practices, anti-lynching legislation, supported breaking racial segregation in baseball, leading to Jackie Robinson's entry to the MLB, and he's responsible for leading the fight that led to the development of the East River housing complex in Harlem, along with then New York City Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia. This kind of work, even beyond his district, won the hearts and support of the people he advocated for. And if you couldn't already tell, he was very unliked by the White House, and even more by conservatives, who viewed him as a threat to the rich elites. Now, Zoran Mamdani campaigned on programs and policies that will ultimately be beneficial to working class New Yorkers, a lot like Vito, and hopefully he'll be successful. Now, let me know what your thoughts are on the newest mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at @FromTheRecord_.